una conversation, solo che io non ho potuto partecipare perché praticamente avendo Skype e poi Zoom, perché lui ha aperto delle camere separate, faceva piccoli gruppi di 2 o 3 persone, io ovviamente entravano in conflitto le due app aperte, per cui io non avevo audio. E vabbè, comunque poi alla fine abbiamo fatto ancora, lui ci ha mandato sempre via Skype dei probabili possibili argomenti, quindi lui ci ha consigliato di
Ok,
prepararci degli
su quelli,
argomenti per
bene.
esercitare. Boh, vabbè, io comunque mi rendo conto che rispetto agli altri sono un po' indietro, ci voleva un livello intermedio tra B1 e B2 per me.
No, per tutti è così. Mentre tra la 2 e il B1 ci passi in un corso, se lo fai bene, tra il B1 e il B2 ci vogliono 2 o 3 anni minimo di studio ininterrotto. Questo è.
No, è veramente un bel salto per me.
Sì, sì, sì. Infatti, tanti altri tipi di esami hanno una serie di esami intermedi. Per cui il B1 certificato, se tu vedi tutta la scaletta anche del Cambridge, ti dà tutta una serie di... Non è un caso che se tu superi il B2 al massimo dei voti, ti prendi un C1. Così come se tu, questo con Cambridge naturalmente, non con gli altri tipi di esami, se fai l'esame per il first e non lo superi di poco, ti prendi comunque la certificazione di B1. Capito? Ci sono queste cose un pochino più flessibili, però dipende dall'esame. Qua ti spiega tutto quanto per quello che serve dell'esame, vedi infatti la differenza tra il B1 e il B2 è notevole, anche nella spiegazione che ti danno
Ma
i
io...
levels.
Sì, scusami, ti dicevo, da quello che ho capito io, comunque, anche quello che ha detto il teacher, ha detto l'importante è parlare. E incomincio ad essere il mio, cioè è sempre stato, però lo vivo proprio come tallone d'Achille.
Allora, concentriamoci allora adesso sul parlare e andiamo a vedere proprio quello che ci parla qui nel tuo syllabus, quello che parla non tanto di listening, reading, use of English and writing, ma nello speaking. Andiamo a vedere.
Sì, e poi volevo chiederti, ma tu mi seguiresti ad agosto? Io avrei ancora, per certo, una lezione, perché abbiamo sempre queste lezioni da recuperare, il 12 settembre, che è sempre un sabato, dopodiché ci dovrebbero comunicare ai primi di settembre, a metà settembre, l'esame, che io spero che sia il più tardi possibile.
Beh, certo, più tempo hai, meglio hai. Ma tu puoi anche eventualmente sapere quali sono le date, se la puoi spostare, tipo, che ti posso dire, in primavera, in gennaio, che ti senti...
Non lo
Non puoi?
so, non lo so, non ti so
Io, il mio
dire.
consiglio comunque, se te lo fanno fare, di farlo, così vedi com'è. Comunque
Beh,
vada, comunque vada.
sì, sì, anche se io non amo i tuffi, comunque va bene.
Allora, leggi, inizia, aspetta che ingrandisco un po' perché è un po' piccolino, te hai... Oh, eccoci qua. Vediamo il formato dello speaking test, questo è proprio il tuo. Leggi e vediamo che cosa ci dice, così mi dai anche un pochino, perché leggere mi sembra che leggi abbastanza bene, però è importante anche
No,
che ti scioglie la lingua.
The face-to-face speaking examination takes place separately from the written paper. The candidate is examined in a pair with the partner. In the event of an odd numbers of candidates, examinations may be conducted with the 3 candidates. The total time of the examination is 11 minutes, 50 minutes for 3 candidates, and it is split into 3 distinct parts. An assessor and interlocutor are present in the room. The candidates are asked questions by the interlocutor and the process is observed by the assessor. At the end of the examination, no, sì, giusto.
Yes.
The interlocutor will award each candidate a holistic score. The assessor will award a more analytical set of marks based on their observation of the exam and more detailed criteria. The total number of marks available for each candidate is 30. Candidates are marked analytically in 5 distinct areas: grammar, vocabulary, interactive ability, discourse management, and pronunciation. Management and pronunciation. Details of the individual criteria can be found on page 21 of this document. The examination is scripted on the interlocutor does not deviate from the script other than to select the topics and the questions to be asked. Topics are routed after each pair of candidates to ensure no subsequent candidates have an unfair advantage. ESB, ESOL, International Speaking Examination, make use of a list of 20 prescribed topics.
Okay, let's go.
Prescribed topics list: animals, clothes and fashion, communication and language, daily life, dreams and ambitions, entertainment and culture, fame and famous people, food and drink, friends and family, health, holidays and tourism, jobs and professions, learning and education, leisure time, places, science and technology, special occasions, sports and hobbies, the natural world, travel and transport.
Okay. So, the task, just read the task, because this one, of course, that just explaining what you should do, but this is what they do, okay? And how long? So read this.
General questions. The examiner, interlocutor, asks the candidates of a series of questions in turn on personal or general topics from the ESB prescribed list. The candidate responds to the interlocutor's questions, but does not interact with the other candidate in this part of the examination.
This is just lasting for 3 minutes, so it's very short. Now, this one.
Interactive discussion based on one of the 20 topics. The interlocutor gives the candidates instruction for part 2 of the exam and hands them a card with 2 prompts written on it. There is a question with 8 related bullet points for discussion and the follow-up question asking for a more personal response. The candidates read the prompt and discuss it. They not have to talk about all the bullet points and may add any information of their own to further the discussion if they wish. The interlocutor does not participate in the discussions. The interlocutor will intervene to stop the discussion after the allotted time has passed.
Okay, so we need this prompt, and this lasts 4 minutes or 6 minutes. And then is part 3.
Responding to questions. The interlocutor introduces a new topic for this part of the examination. The interlocutor asks the candidates a series of questions on the new topic and encourage them to listen and respond to what their partner is saying or to add further comment where appropriate.
Anyway, as you see here, the total waiting for speaking section is just 20%. So even you don't have to be too worried on one part or the other. If you are each candidate, I mean, each student is stronger on a skill and weaker on another skill. So it's for everybody. So you have to think of the total. So
Yes.
if your total is acceptable, it doesn't matter if it's just the 20% speaking. So, and anyway, what is the weakest point you think you have in speaking? You remember the pointed that they were given that are grammar, vocabulary, interactive activity, discourse management, and pronunciation. Which of these do you think is the weakest for you?
In this period, all
of them.
areas, total.
Just
All five. Many years ago, I was good at speaking, but now.
So analyze reasons why, because you know perfectly where is the reason. Which is the reason according to your idea? Of course, I got my ideas, but life is yours.
In your group, I me la cavo.
I can do it. I'm okay. You're one of the best. Yes, actually, you're one of the best.
But in the other group, I think.
Yes, but don't think of a comparison. Your exam is not a comparison with other people. It's just a test on your own skills. So think about your own skills. You told me that in the past you were better than now in speaking. Why?
My point, weak point are grammar and speaking.
So it's not possible that you were best some or better, at least better some years ago, and now you have weaker than you were in the past, unless you were always speaking. I mean, if you had a lot of practice in the past and now you stop for a while, so probably it's not that you're not losing your skills. You just need more practice, like when you go to the gym. If you go to the gym every day and then you stop for 5 months, when you go back to the gym, all your muscles, your arms, your legs, you feel tiring. I mean, it's harder, but in a week, you just became as you were before. English is the same completely. If you
I agree.
If you told me that in the past you were able to speak fluently enough, it's something. We can work on it. But think about your past. Now you have this comparison with other students. And of course, if there are students that they are studying this level for longer than you, of course they are better than you, of course.
Yeah.
But when you say that in the past you were better, did you have the same comparison with other students? You get my point?
Yes, yeah, in the past I was I speak it.
I spoke.
I spoke. Vedi, già ci siamo. I spoke fluently, but now I'm so frustrated.
You say that you were speaking fluently. Make me an example. When, in which occasion were you speaking fluently?
In the past.
In the past, yeah.
In the past, when I attended the course, English course, and the exam, I remembered the speaking part of the exam. I was very good.
Which level was the exam that period?
B1.
So you were very good for a B1.
Yes.
And now B2 is another word. It's not, so you don't have to think that you are going down on your skills. You are not. You have to improve because
Yeah.
the way, the path that is leading you from B1 to B2 is so long. And probably you are not at the end of the path. You are just in the middle. That's the
Yeah.
problem. It has nothing to do with you. It's normal. I mean, I think that you were pushed to do this exam a bit too early, but nevertheless, we can try it. Okay, but do not think that you are losing your skills. You still have your skills, but the skills that are required now for a B2 are much higher than the skills required for a B1. It's not just one course after, it's 3 or 4 or even 5 years of course after. So
Yes.
relax yourself and don't blame you. Don't blame you. There's nothing you could do in this time. Okay, we can do something anyway, just to see how is organized. The exam is just a normal B2 exam, and what I told you, I have received. Do you have a list of the list that your teacher gave you? Do you have it?
About topics,
The topics,
speaking. Yes.
more or less, are the same that we were reading now, are they?
Yes, yes.
Yes, they are more or less the same, of course. But if you can send them to me, so I can prepare some, even the prompts for the two people, because we can make some simulation like we were in the exam. And then I can send you even some videos of original exam made on purpose, okay? And then the other thing that I wanted to show you, you see, this is all, this is stuff made for teachers that they just send it to me, the Cambridge Examination Center. For example, reading use of English, because there's not a lot to do, where they know, they just explain, giving you some hints what to do, how to face the exam. Okay, the exam is always the same for everybody. It's the same that you are doing. The strategy, they help you with some strategy. For example, you see, in use of English, they test your knowledge and how to use the vocabulary, words and phrases. Do not not underestimate this part of the exam, because it's much more difficult than the speaking. Because it's just looking for details in the vocabulary and use of English parts. That is the most difficult task, probably, if you don't have a lot of practice, because it's that fluency that you have after a lot of practice. So to complete the gaps in the text, choose from, I mean, you know, all the kind of exercise, but we are going to say it again. And even the ability of reading a text of about 300 words, try to keep it in mind and then reply to some question. This is another activity that is very important to do it. So the strategy they are suggesting you, teachers think that grammar is more difficult than vocabulary. Not in English. But our knowledge vocabulary is actually very complex. When we say know a word, we really know many different things about it. There's an example using a word you probably think is very easy and familiar. Have a look. Head. Read. Read, Rita. You read this pattern.
But I don't...
Don't say it. Okay, because it's posted here. I share it again.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so look the word head and we analyze it.
Spoken form, just one syllable. Phonemic transcription, head. Written form, 4 letters. The E sound is spelled E.
Okay, and this is very easy, but the meaning? The
meaning of these words, head, has many meanings, including the physical part of an animal's body with eyes, ears, etc. The person who leads a team, the head of a company, the part of a
head. It's not head, it's head.
Head of a company. The part of a bed where I rest my head, the head of the bed.
Okay.
Okay.
But the most complex part is the use of this word. Look at the use.
It's a countable noun, so could be used with the article a or in the plural form with numbers, 3 heads, etc.
Okay.
When it describes a part of something larger, it's followed by of. Larger. It's followed by, sometimes it's used as a verb or phrasal verb, to head up an investigation, to lead an investigation.
So the phrasal verb is a strong part of the B2 exam. And you know, the meanings are so different from the one you can just deduct knowing the word. Because, for example, if I was asking you, what's the meaning of head up? Probably you didn't know. But it's too late, head up an investigation. So here are just giving your some suggestion, and that's something you could study on it. I can send you this material and try to study on it. So, for example, this one is the reading and use of English 1. So here it's all suggestions they are giving to you. You see? Now, look at this example of vocabulary flashcard. Of course, all this stuff need more time. You don't have this time.
Yes.
Yeah, because, but you can try to change your mind. Just mind up your mind and change it. Okay. I do what I can do until I have time, and then we'll see. For example, this is a vocabulary flashcard. Imagine you're creating a flashcard for the circled word in this text. Read this text.
The joy of photography. Photography is a hobby with a wide appeal, and I don't mean taking photo on your mobile phone. Though it cannot be so, it cannot be denied that such pictures can be surprisingly good these days. Serious photography means taking the trouble to do some research, exploring the technical aspects of the subject, investigating in the what might be quite expensive equipment. So equipment.
Yes, good.
So why take up photography? Firstly,
okay, so you understood everything, because you see the level of comprehension, your level of comprehension is good enough because you understand the whole.
yes.
Yeah, you do.
Yes. Some words
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're missing some words, but you are just understanding the context.
Yes,
that's perfect. Okay, but here this exercise is trying to keep you focused on some details. For example, the word appeal. So they ask you to check the word in the online Cambridge dictionary, that is the one that we use together usually, to find information about the spelling, pronunciation, meaning, and use, because probably you are not. Okay. And we look for appeal. So now we listen to the,
pronunciation.
have to use the Bluetooth speakers because otherwise you don't hear it. Okay. Now listen.
Appeal, appeal, appeal.
Okay.
Okay.
And try to repeat.
Appeal.
Perfect.
Appeal.
Perfect. Okay, that's perfect. You know the meaning.
The quality that makes you like someone or something.
Okay. Or
an event in which a lot of people are asked to give money, information, or help.
So one is, you see, here you also have the meaning in Italian that are very different.
Yes.
Okay, or it could be a verb, same pronunciation.
Appeal.
That is the verb coming from the first description here. Okay.
To formally request that a legal or official decision be changed.
Decision.
Decision.
No, decision.
Decision.
Yes, good.
Decision be changed.
Yes. Reclamare, fare ricorso, completely different. That is to appeal, because it's similar to the, I think, Greek or Latin root, appellarsi. Okay, appeal, appellarsi, but, and this is coming from another root that is not Latin. That's why sometimes we have the same word with different meaning, because they use the same word, but one is coming from one root, probably Latin or Greek. The other one is coming from Germany or Saxon root. Okay, let's go back to our here. Okay, so we have checked, and now let's try to complete the gaps in the flashcard. For example, form, spoken, how many syllables are there?
Appeal.
Yes, you can do it with your vocabulary open, and you do it, so phonemic transcription and the pronunciation here. The E sound spelling sounds like
E.
E, appeal. Yes, definition, equivalent in my language. Common combination with other words. Example sentence. This, when you don't, when you find words that are very tough for you, this is a very good system to memorize new and difficult word. You just make an analysis of the word. After filling a kind of chart like this one, you, for sure, you will remember the word because you were actually working on that word. Okay?
Okay.
And this is one thing.
This is it possible have this as to have this exercise in the exam?
No, you won't. You won't. This is something that is helping you in studying, but
Okay,
you won't.
okay.
The exercise you're going to have is like, for example, this one.
Ballet dancer by.
Okay.
Thank you. After years of karate lessons, Hans Jensen, 13, 0, swapped his black belt for ballet shoes.
Okay,
Hans,
so this is an exercise already finished. Usually, instead of near this number, 0, 1, 2, 3, there's a blank. There's a blank that you have to fill, and you have to choose between 1, 2, 4 different options. So here there's nothing, and you have to choose between amongst swapped, varied, replace, different.
Okay.
And the right word is swapped.
Swapped is an example, okay.
Yeah, but it's already done, this exercise, but this is the exercise you're gonna do in your exam. Okay.
Okay.
So that's why I told you you have to know a lot of vocabulary, because they are going to give you 4 different words and they are all very similar one to another.
Yes.
For example, you see, Hans gave his first public performance, but could we put Hans showed his first public performance, Hans put his first public performance, Hans passed his first public performance. So if you don't have, if you're not self-confident, each one could be good for you. Or even, this is a phrasal verb. Hans' mother say he was actually helping out his little sister. Helping out, helping with, helping off, helping on. Which one is correct? Is out, but you know, it's not so immediate and easy if you, okay?
Okay.
And then they explain, I'm gonna give you this.
Thanks.
Okay. And this is just suggestion how to face it. You see? then create, but I'd like you to try together to do this kind of, so what I was thinking, tell me if you agree. There's a part, there's a part of exam that you should do by yourself, like this one. For example, I'm giving you the
homework.
Yeah, it's not a homework, it's a test, because it's just a test similar to the test you're going to do, and you do it alone. You took the time, for example, for each exercise, you go, now it's 12:27, at the end you finish at 12:45, so you write down at the end of the exercise the time you took to take this exercise for each exercise. Okay, it's important. Took the time. Oops.
Okay.
Just take the time for each exercise. 6 minutes, 7, 10, 15, maybe you need, so we can evaluate if you need more time for one activity and less for another. And we can concentrate even on your speed. Okay. And that's another thing. So after or you send everything to me when you finish, because in this case, we don't have so much time to spend together. I mean, it's not because I don't want to spend time together with you, of course, but I think there are a lot of things that you have to do by yourself, like the writing, all this stuff. So, for example, let's try to do this. Starting from here, hands.
Hans has already paid attention. Past participle. Paid. To
But
pay, paid.
You have 4. So you have
okay.
Paid, achieved, taken, attracted. So you say that is paid.
Paid.
And that's correct. Very good, excellent. Because you know that the word are paying attention. With attention, you use pain. Perfect. Okay. Go on. He loves?
He loves it there and is working hard to increase to ease of dance steps.
Okay, number 5. Range, volume, total, scale.
Increase range.
His range of dance step is correct. It's not his volume, it's not total, it's not scale. Let's go on.
To become stronger, experience and learn as much as I can, he said.
So the missing word could be collect, raise, add, gain. Which one is correct for experience? I want to become stronger. Experience and learn as much as I can.
Add. No. Collect.
No, it's gain experience. Gain experience. Because you're not collecting experience, you're not adding experience, but you gain experience. Like catch, yeah. Gain experience. Because this is the use of English. The more you speak, the more you know. Okay. Let's try. Is teacher?
Gregorevich, who has danced professionally in a variety of lead places. Of lead
The thing is with lead.
Lead roles.
Read roles, yes, in lead roles, because that's a professional in a variety of lead roles. Said.
Said, Hans has a naturally ability and always works hard. Hans has himself the goal of one day dancing for the Bolshoi Ballet. Has number 8. Set.
No, it's not set, it's taught. Taught himself the goal is like of one day dancing for the Bolshoi Ballet. Ha imparato, ha imparato is not just ha scelto di imparare da solo. It's right, you know. And you know, these are all so let's do, and this is another example. So this is even the form that you are going to do, because you are not going to write on the same sheet. You have a separate sheet. So you have an exercise like this one, but you don't write here A, B, C, D. You have to write them in another separate sheet. So you have to be very careful. That's, I mean, something more, adding something more. I mean, that's why you need to be really tranquil, relaxed, because otherwise you could lose it. So let's try to do, this one.
Hunting.
Okay, I'm going to send you, for example, this.
Okay.
Oh, let's do together. Let's do together now. Okay.
Marge Bask was reading on her parents' farm in Montana in the USA when she noticed what the first sight.
Okay, you knew it. B. That's a B.
Okay. In fact, it ought to belong. Look out.
Don't guess. You have a choice. So read the whole sentence up to the end. Then I show you the 4 possibilities. Okay. In fact, it
ought to belong to a dinosaur. We call it a triceratops.
Okay. So the 4 words can be sorted, worked, turned, point. And you have out. I don't give you the reply right now. In fact, it sort it out, work it out, turn it out, point it out. Which one?
Sorted.
Sorted. Okay, let's say sorted. About?
Is it correct?
I tell you at the end. And if it's not, I explain you why.
Okay. About 65 million years ago, dinosaurs regularly near huge rivers in this part of Montana.
Regularly
concentrated. Okay. Luckily for modern day dinosaurs enthusiasts, they here were perfect for preserving those that died there.
The what?
I don't know. I don't remember.
They are very similar. They are all very similar.
Settings, conditions, situation, settings.
Mm. Okay.
However, once prehistoric bones are to the air, they can become fragile. So it is important to find and preserve them before they disappear into the dust.
Okay.
Bones are emerged or appear.
Emerged
Appear.
or appear? You have to tell me. Remember what you have before and after. All the prepositions are very, very important in this part. So here is are to the air, to the air.
I don't know. Emerged.
Five.
Since Marge's discovery, her family have found of hundreds of dinosaurs, some of which they have to museum.
Okay, 5 and 6.
Ruins, it's like stones, like...
That's very good, very good. But we are speaking about
remains.
bones. Remains. Okay, and 6 was remains of other dinosaurs, some of which they have to museum. They have
donated.
That makes sense. The tourist.
Many tourists visit the farm in the hope of coming across something unusual.
Yes.
The tourist may not stand much of discovering an entire skeleton, but they are still very enthusiastic. Much of discovery.
Very similar, all of them.
Yes, of possibility, of opportunity, possibility.
Tell me, which one? Do you want a possibility?
Of opportunity. Opportunity, no.
You have to tell me, opportunity.
Opportunity.
Okay. And then 8.
Sorry.
Dash.
Family often allow them to keep whatever they find, although some science of is policy.
Remember that is of this policy.
Scientists.
So it goes disapprove of, accuse of, criticize of, prohibit of.
It's similar.
Very similar, all of them.
Criticize.
Okay, so now let's see the results. Okay. 1, you say Okay, let me do it like this. And I copy. Like a board. We use this like a board. So we add them together.
Yes.
Okay, we make it bigger. And we open again our Excel. Okay, so first one, let's go back and see what you did.
Okay.
First one, you say sorted, actually is turned.
Yes.
Why? Because in fact is turned out. In fact, it turned out to belong. That means, because sorted out means risolvere.
Ok.
To sort out esiste, ma vuol dire risolvere qualcosa. In questo caso è turned out, che vuol dire venne fuori, appartenere a un dinosauro chiamato, ok, turned out, risultò appartenere, giusto? Con risultò chiaramente cambia completamente. È il significato. So, then, the meaning, then we have two. You put concentrated, the animals near the water, they're gathered, they're not concentrated. Concentrated is like, you know, we should do another example, but it's not concentrated. Because here animals usually gather, si raccolgono.
Ok.
Okay, is
For the end, gathered. For the end.
Yes, was to. In fact, it regularly gather near huge rivers. Okay, and it's not reflexive like in Italian. Gathered è proprio raccogliersi e raccogliere. Non esiste il riflessivo in inglese.
Ok, ma gathered si riferisce sempre agli animali?
Agli animali, esatto, perché gli animali, vedi, about 65 million years ago, dinosaurs regularly gathered near huge rivers in this part of what country? Montana. Okay? They gather, si riuniscono, si raccolgono. Okay? Then 3 was A, conditions, and you wrote settings. Luckily for modern day dinosaur enthusiasts, it's not the setting, but are the conditions here were perfect for living there. What does it mean? If you say the setting is something that is, for example, building. Is building. For example, I prepare a nice setting for my friends. So I put a vase of flower in the middle of the table, and then I take some cookies.
Yes.
That's the setting. I prepare a setting. It could be even a natural setting, but you know, it's something that usually is very limited. Here we're speaking about the conditions they allow to live. It's not the setting of one particular place, but they are the condition, for example, a lot of rivers, wonderful weather. Is just more, you know, it's a bigger way of thinking. So they are the conditions. Even in Italian is the same.
Okay.
Okay. 4, you say emerged, is exposed, because this is probably, it could be more easy because it's to the air, exposed to the air. You don't say emerged to. Emerged doesn't need any other preposition. Or is emerged out, but
Okay.
it's not emerged to the air. Even because the meaning, it's think in Italian is the same, because once prehistoric bones are exposed to the air, they became more fragile.
Exposed, ok.
Quando vengono esposte all'aria, non è quando vengono tirate fuori sull'aria. Non ha senso neanche in italiano, questo, per cui sono esposte all'aria. 5, remains is correct. Because remains sono i resti, esattamente come tu hai detto, i resti proprio animali, umani, in questo caso i resti. Mentre invece, guarda qui che cosa abbiamo, ruins, hai detto giustamente, they are stones, pieces, ruins. Records is not correct and not even results. So you did a good job finding out remains. And one, you say donated, and I don't understand why, because the sentence, this sentence, family often allow them keep whatever they find, although some scientists donated of these policies, donated of.
Criticize, no?
No, yes, but you don't criticize of this policy, you criticize this policy. If they weren't this, that was correct, criticize. But it's not criticize because you have of. So you have to find a verb that is connected with of and is disapprove of this policy. Disapprove of these policies. That is the same of criticize. The only thing is that here you have a preposition that is not correct with criticize. So I don't want to depress you, of course, but when you see it's speaking my fault, it's not speaking your weak point. It's the level. I mean, your brain works perfectly. It's just that it's too early. The level has to be considered step by step. You have to work on it. There's no problem. But it's quite difficult to arrive at the end. But I mean, you can do it. So what I'm going to do it, if you want, I can give you these documents, but that you can just read for your information, because it's full of suggestion. You see, idea, something that you can read. As you see, I have the same. Do you see my share? No, it's closing.
Yes. Page 12. No.
Yes, now I'm going to, no, I want to show this. Okay, these are the old documents, they send it to me. So the one that we were into now is reading and use of English. Then I got even the same, the same format for the different part of the exam. This is writing an essay, that is something that they are going to ask you. Then another reading and use of English is 1, 1, 2, and 3. Actually, I put it 0, 1, and 2. And writing an article. These are all suggestions on the toughest part. But nevertheless, what I can do now, instead of filling your head with information that can confuse yourself, I think the best thing you can do is just doing exercises and try.
Okay.
You know, you have
These
many
exercises.
of this kind, of this type, not this one, but something similar to the exam you're going to take. And then I send it to you, you do
Yes.
the exercise, you send it to me,
Yes.
and when we meet, we can do two things. First is correcting the exercise and see and concentrate and focus on the mistakes.
Okay.
So that you are not working, I mean, we are working in a fast way. In which way? Instead of studying structures, we are concentrated on your mistakes.
Okay.
And we try to change from a mistake to a good skill. Because we don't have the time to do in a normal way. So we do in this fast way. That is the way they always do for people, for example, that when they're doing concorsi. When you have to do concorsi, of course you have to study in a very short time. How can you do? You cannot study history or anything in a very short time. You have to try to do the test and concentrate on your faults. Okay, the same we are going to do it now. Then another part of our meeting, I'm preparing some speaking tests for you.
Yes, yes, yes.
For example, how to speak on a picture, or or when you have a situation and you have to speak on that situation and discuss with another person. Okay, I'm preparing those that we can do it together. So a part of the job you're doing by yourself at home, and you send me the results and we discuss just the results, but the work you do by yourself. Okay, and then together we are doing the speaking part. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree totally.
Okay.
I need to doing the homework.
Yeah.
And posso dirlo un attimo?
Dimmi tutto. È importante che ci capiamo bene su questo. Sì, sì.
Io ho bisogno, sono fatta male, lo so, però devo avere delle cose da fare, mi devo concentrare su quello.
Esattamente.
E compiti, perché se ho anche l'obbligo, io però lo faccio. Se invece è per quello che poi alla fine ti ho cercato e ho insistito, diciamo,
Sì,
prendere, perché io potevo, l'insegnante ci ha consigliato, sì, un libro di
L'ho
grammatica.
visto, ma non va bene, quello va bene, cioè non è che non va bene perché il libro non è fatto bene, il libro va benissimo, ma devi avere il tempo di avere un metodo che ti porta a seguirlo tutto.
Esatto.
Cosa seguire e cosa non seguire, il tempo che tu hai per il momento è limitato. Allora noi dobbiamo concentrarci sullo scopo.
Appunto.
Lo scopo adesso è passare l'esame. Allora, quello che io ti proponevo, infatti, adesso te lo dico bene in italiano così ci...
Sì, no, ma
comunque
va bene.
benissimo.
Sì, sì, sì.
Cui, esatto.
Devo entrare la cosa.
Esattamente, dobbiamo fare i tentativi. Per cui quello che io adesso ti mando, questi uso i test proprio uguali, che sono i vecchi test degli esami, come questo che abbiamo visto adesso, e anche altri tipi, perché ce ne sono diversi tipi. Questo era abbastanza semplice nel senso tu dici no, ne ho sbagliati tanti, però nel senso come capire la struttura, perché un altro esercizio che tu farai è quello di riempire invece con una parola e non hai le 4 scelte, devi mettere te la parola. Un altro esercizio che tu farai, per cui leggiti sempre bene qual è l'indicazione dell'esercizio che ti dicono cosa fare. Ti danno una radice di una parola e ti danno un testo e tu, dove ci sono i blank, devi mettere una parola che derivi da quella radice. ad esempio, empower, e io devo mettere nel testo quello che a me mi serve, la parola è empowerment. Ok? Perché questo ti fa proprio capire come è strutturata la lingua inglese, che da una stessa radice si formano aggettivi, verbi, avverbi e cambiano, oppure i contrari.
Come employ.
Brava, employ. E tu devi vedere se è employed, unemployed, employment.
Esatto.
Stanno tantissime. A seconda del contesto tu devi trovare quella giusta. Questo è un altro esercizio che c'è nell'esame. Un altro esercizio che dovrai fare è quello di avere dei testi, ad esempio 8 testi che descrivono 8 persone che vogliono andare in vacanza e descrivono quello che vorrebbero fare in vacanza. 8. Nella parte accanto hai 6 luoghi di vacanza. Ognuno è quello giusto per una delle persone, ma ce ne stanno 2 in più da una parte. Questo te lo fanno sempre. Per cui tu devi leggere il testo di quello che vuole e qual è la località di vacanza che è adatta a quella persona. E questo è un altro degli esercizi che si può fare. E ce ne sono diversi di questo tipo. Io ti mando tutto, adesso ti mando una parte, un solo test che riguarda ad esempio il reading and writing e poi use of English. Te li mando tutti quanti uno alla volta. Tu cosa fai? Hai il testo davanti. Per ogni esercizio ti segni il tempo di inizio e di fine. Ti trovi un momento tranquillo che sei da sola, che nessuno ti disturba, e non farli troppi tutti insieme, ma cerca di essere concentrata su quello che stai facendo e ti fai un esercizio, ci metti 5 minuti, 10 minuti, perfetto, lo scrivi sotto il tempo che ci hai messo, perché è importante anche quello dopo, quando abbiamo tutti quanti test. Poi mi mandi a me le soluzioni, così quando noi ci rivediamo io ho già tutte le soluzioni e ti posso dire cosa è sbagliato e perché. E lavoriamo su quello.
Ok.
E poi un'altra parte la facciamo appunto con il parlato, per cui io ti do delle indicazioni perché loro ti faranno delle domande di carattere generico di tutti i topic che abbiamo visto. E poi se tu mi vuoi mandare i topic che ti ha dato il tuo insegnante, mandameli, così io ti preparo proprio su quello. E poi facciamo anche queste simulazioni di discussioni su un topic che tu dovrai fare con un'altra persona, perché l'interazione fa parte dello speaking del B2, cosa che non c'è negli altri esami. Inizia a esserci solo dal B2 l'interazione. E poi visto l'insegnante non parla, per cui può anche darsi che ti capita una persona che sta zitta, che non parla, oppure che gli devi mettere in tappo che non si ferma più. Attenzione, l'interazione è anche quello, no? Riuscire a capirsi, perché anche uno che parla sempre e non dà spazio all'altro è sbagliato, lo mettono come punto negativo, perché devi interagire. Per cui cerchiamo di fare questi esercizi, va bene? Per cui io ti mando subito un test. Tu come l'hai fatto? Mi mandi le soluzioni e i tempi e io te ne mando anche un altro subito. Così ci diamo il tempo, non ce lo diamo adesso, ma ce lo diamo man mano che lo sviluppiamo insieme, perché altrimenti così non ti viene l'ansia. Te quando hai tempo, se ti devi prendere una settimana, 10 giorni, quello che è, te la prendi, non studi, oppure dici no, io ho tempo, hai lì l'esercizio, magari io te lo mando oggi, tu lo fai tra 10 giorni, a me non cambia nulla, no? Te lo fai quando hai tempo e poi magari ecco oggi non ho più tempo, te ne mando un altro, dici Paola preparami un altro esercizio e io te li mando, capito? Ne ho vagonate, non ti preoccupare.
No, tranquilla, di quello so che mi devo esercitare, quindi non mi preoccupo. 2 cose, uno forse, credo di non avere la tua mail.
Ah, ok, te la dico subito. Teacher Paola, tutto attaccato, Teacher Paola 2828
Ok.
@gmail.com.
Ok, e poi un'altra cosa di carattere più pratico, perdonami, però mi sembra anche doveroso, perché nel senso che non posso approfittare sempre della tua pazienza e disponibilità, però se vuoi, cioè io non ho problemi, posso anche mandarti anche adesso il bonifico, perché
No, no,
comunque tu mi stai...
quello vediamo dopo, non ti preoccupare, perché poi c'è anche tua sorella che mi sta qua, per cui...
Dopo il lockdown, purtroppo, dovevo farmi furba, l'avrei dovuto farlo prima, però adesso c'ho l'home banking. Quindi,
Non ti
sì,
preoccupare, quella è una
per-
cosa che vediamo dopo, non ti preoccupare. Vediamo anche quanto riusciamo a fare, il tempo, lo valutiamo. Teniamo il record di quante volte ci vediamo, così facciamo del tempo che passiamo insieme, guarda. E poi
allora,
vediamo, stai tranquilla.
questa io la considero come prima lezione, eh? Va
Va
bene?
bene, sì, sì, tanto un'oretta di riscaldamento, questo è warm up,
Va,
che serve sempre
va
un po' di
bene.
warm up. Io non vado fuori, per cui qui e là un'oretta me la posso ritagliare senza problemi, perché tra l'altro questi sono tipi di lezioni che a me rilassano e divertono anche. No, veramente, perché la preparazione per il first certificate per il B2 è stimolante, divertente, non è noiosa, capito? Perché ci sono tante cosine divertenti. No,
Io
no.
la trovo terrificante, ma va bene, punti di vista.
È il punto, basta spostare il punto di vista. Esatto. E poi, se vuoi, io ti mando le registrazioni, te le posso mandare, così le chiamiamo meeting numero 1, meeting numero 2, li chiamiamo così stanno lì da una parte, non le pubblico, le metto su YouTube per cancellarle dal computer, ma le metto in modo che solo io e te le possiamo vedere, che abbiamo il link. Perché
Sei
così.
bravissimo, proprio.
No, perché se no, capito, tutta sta roba, invece abbiamo il link e ce l'andiamo a vedere lì, quello che ci interessa, sono cose che riguardano solo me e te. Ok?
Perfetto. Va bene, allora
Va bene.
io in linea di massima, come ti ho scritto ieri, penso di riuscire lunedì, perché lunedì sarò in Puglia,
Che
però
bello!
guarda, è inaspettato, questa
Ma
cosa non
dove?
era
In che
prevista.
zona?
Porto Cesareo.
Ah, bello. Mamma mia.